Alright, everybody, it's Jason Adams again. You probably watched my video about me explaining about writings on every stone, the oldest question answered. Well, it wasn't a very good video or whatnot. It's the first I had ever did, as I'm just starting this. So right now, I'm back here to get another rubbing off of a rock. And the reason I'm back here is because this rubbing, it turned out really well. It's extremely difficult for me to be able to get it to where everybody can actually see, especially when you don't know what you're looking for. It's hard to pick out one picture out of a bunch of pictures overlaid on top of it. So what I decided to do today is to come over here and show you the rock before I take a rubbing off of it. That's going to be, I can't tell if you can see it, but that's this one right here, one on the top, that somebody had stacked up. And so I'm gonna, after I get to talking, I'm gonna have to pause it, and I'm gonna set up the camera phone thing so I can film me making the rubbing off of it, so people don't think it's a hoax. And if you're watching, which I'm sure you are, the best way I found out to be able to bring the images out is I take just a plain old pencil and add no color or nothing to it, as I've tried that, and just take a pencil rubbing on it, making sure I get it real good. And then I take a camera app. I use the night camera thing. It was free on the Play Store, but it has a color inversion on it. And then I will invert the color, and wow, you would not believe it. And so the pictures I'm going to be showing from now on, for now, is going to be of the rubbings being inverted, as it seems to show up the most. Very, very, very interesting stuff here. All right, so here we go. Yeah, and one more thing. I'm sitting in a different place right now. It's a different day. But at the end of the video, you will be able to see a whole bunch of different pictures of what I was just talking about. All right. All right, hopefully I don't knock it over. Here comes the wind. Knock it off, wind. So when I take one of these, while you're doing it, is you'll see the images and stuff popping up as you're doing it. But as you continue to get a full, the full surface rubbing, it gets kind of muddied up. And so it's very important that as you're doing it, you don't let the paper move, obviously. And it'd be nice if I had other paper other than this lined paper. But this is kind of good because everybody knows how far apart the lines are spaced on these papers, and the images we're looking at, some of them are as small and smaller than the line itself. But I came back to do this particular stone I already did once, because I was able to get a really good rubbing off of this one. One of the best, I think, so far, without having to do too much doctoring it. When I say doctoring it, I mean, changing the shade, the tint, and the hue, and the saturation, and stuff like that, because not every creature sees in the same light bands that we do. And I'm sure if you have cat eyes like that, you probably perceive the world differently than we do. I don't know. I've never looked at those kind of eyes, only my own set. But that's what their eyes look like. Is they have a cat eye and a forked tongue, like a reptile kind of, on some of them. But it's not. It's two types of beings I prominently see. I hope you can see this. But after I do this, I take and I open up my night vision camera app, and I can invert the colors, and that seems to show up the best, because, like I said, it's layered image. It's layered text, and it's unlike any text that's here on that I've been able to find so far, as how it's written, how it's read. There is no left and right or up and down on this. It reads differently in every direction, and it shows a different image in every direction viewed. And it's also, you can read through it. It's like stacking the ABCs on top of each other. And so I probably could get in trouble for where I am, as in I'm I don't know if it's private property or whatnot. There's signs up though, and I'm behind where the school buses park in Tigard, because I was walking with my dog here the other day through this field down here and came up on here, and I seen these big rocks all stacked up that somebody had stacked up, and I thought, I'll take a rubbing. As I'm always hiding away from public eye because I'm relentlessly pursued, and most of the time I'm out, I spend my time running from place to place. Sometimes because I don't want to be there too long, and other times it's because I'm physically being harassed, and I don't want to end up being gunned down in a field again. And I've asked people for help on this issue, and nobody believes it. So now it's going to be on YouTube, me making this rub and saying these things. But I don't care, It was a horrible, horrible experience. It takes a while to get a good rubbing. And at first, you really don't see anything because you don't know what you're looking at, because you're used to seeing it your whole life. The best way I can explain it, if we lived in a world that everything in our world was covered with polka dots, okay? Polka dots were on everything, everywhere. Anything that there was that we saw had polka dots on it. Well, we wouldn't notice the polka dots, really, because we ourselves would probably be polka dotted, if we live on polka dot world. And so we wouldn't notice that everything on the underlying side of it would be polka dots, because that was what would be normal and natural to us. And, we would have our own science on how everything there was made, overlooking the fact that it was covered with polka dots. Well, here's a wake-up call. We live on polka dot world, but it's not polka dots. And a lot of people, this is going to confuse, because, like, even myself, at one time I was preaching in a church. And when this discovery was handed to me years and years ago, I didn't know what was going to be handed to me yet. I was woken up, with an electronic dictionary thing, making noise I'd never heard. When I opened it up, it was a word I'd never heard of, but the definition was to be handed a great puzzle. A few years down the road, here this is. Well, it's been more than a few years. And so, and to explain what it is, I cannot explain it yet. All I know for sure is they're not human, and they were here before we were here, because the same as on the Macroshroom meteorite, I can't make a rubbing of it, but what I can do is the same thing I do with my pictures on the internet, is get a picture of that one and overlay the filters and different colors and stuff. And it's on the Macroshroom meteorite. And the stardust inside of on it's like 8 billion years old, and the meteorite itself predates the Earth and the solar system like 2.5 billion years or something. And so before everything that we know of and how it is now existed, these people on these images that I have were here. Some of the stones I have dictate the pyramids being built. Well, that's what it looks like, And I know it's a lot to take in, and people's going to think bullshit. But I've done well over, I would say by now, a good 3,000-4,000 different rubbings, easily. And so I've done enough of them till I can confidently say, without a doubt, that on every rock, everywhere on the entire surface of the earth, no matter how big or how small, you will find the same things. From what I've learned is I'm not no expert, but I've studied a lot about geology and stuff, and researched a lot of things I didn't know, because I've tried to debunk that statement I just said. And the more I try to debunk it, the more it hits me in the face, telling me, you can't debunk it, because it's true. And so, if you're watching this right now, I'm sure you've already seen a video where it says God coming down. Those images that you see in the clouds, if you make a bunch of screenshots as it plays, it'll trip you out. But those images and the people and the things you'll see in that hole where the sky opened up above me is the same on the stones. And if you look real closely, even my face in the video changes. And it puzzles me, you know. But since I'm bringing forth an unbelievable story, you know, proclaiming something that's just, if you ask me, retarded. Yeah, you might as well let everybody know everything, you know. I don't know what you can see on the camera right now. If anything, I hope it's recording, or I'm gonna have to do another one. I'll probably do 2 of these anyway. Well, I have an hour. I have a meeting, an appointment at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. To get into a place. I won't be homeless anymore. I've been homeless since 2018 or 17, something like that. And the only reason I'm here in this part of Oregon and not the coast anymore is I fled running for my life. And somewhere on the outskirts of McMinnville, I ended up collapsing in a field with a butt end of a gun being shoved in my rib cage to see if I was still alive, I guess. And it was thought that I'd had a heart attack, and so I had to listen to people discuss what to do with me. And they decided to leave me there. And I got so tired of being told, as soon as you say a story like that, you're sent to a mental health expert, and I'm got tired of people, not believing my story of what I was telling them, all the way down to where what happened. I don't state that statement anymore. The only things I talk about now is things that people can verify for their own self by other resources other than my mouth. Like me getting washed out at the Siletz Bay on the 4th of July. You hear that horn? I hear that everywhere. That could be coincidental, because it is a big city, but somebody will probably come walking up here before too long. I can't see what it looks like yet. I hope if you've been listening to my music that you like my music. I hear people talking right now. But yeah, I'll take this image right here with that night camera app I was telling you about, and I'll hit invert, so it inverts the colors, and man, does it make it pop out. And so, yeah, just amazing. As many images as I've done, they appear to have, it's either 2 mouths or 2 rows of teeth. an inside and an outside row, and it's like a bigger mouth on a smaller mouth, kind of. It's hard to say if that's what it is, but that's what it kind of looks like. And a lot of these images are 3D. If you kind of roll them a little bit like a scroll, they really stand out of the page. It's crazy, and it's such an advanced writing and stuff, and whatnot. And there's so much stuff that I've discovered that's on a lot of the rocks, all the way down to math that looks similar to the math we have now. And so as long as I've been studying this, so I've kind of come to the conclusion that this isn't the first time that these people would be showing up, because something is coming. But every so many such and such years or something, the mankind gets wiped out. And I think by what I'm seeing is that once a being that's I guess like us reach a certain level of technology or something, where they're wiped back down to the beginning, as in all the worlds with the people that have the sharp looking teeth, dictate, looks like conquered worlds, kings' heads being held in their hand. And when you do see people, there's normally horrible things being done to them, people like you and I. And so I think that some of the rocks are things of conquered other worlds, or some of the rocks could be things that were on Earth before the flood, because the world was flooded out for a reason. And I have another theory about the flood. Mars, our sister planet or whatever, or the ones that everybody wants to go to, that no longer has an atmosphere. It's not geologically dead. I think that when the Earth's water shield was collapsed, something else was done there that wiped out where they couldn't have an atmosphere. And I've read once somewhere that the soil there actually tested positive for radioactive isotopes. Now, is that true or not? I don't know. But it could be. I read a lot of stuff, as I've spent a lot of time researching what this could be. And I'll tell you what I do know for sure is I know a lot of things it's not. I think I have an audience somewhere behind me. If you look while I'm doing this, you'll see how these lines look like they go this way, right here, in here. And from what I've learned about in geology, every rock really should be unique. Its patterns, each, different types of stones are formed in different types of ways. And kind of like a snowflake, none of them should be completely, identical, so each pattern or anything from stone to stone, should be different, should be different. But I've discovered across stone, that when I'm saying across stones from place to place, I'm talking one side of the country more or less to another, as long as the country is no bigger than Oregon. But all over Oregon, I've got stones, and I have gotten the opportunity to do a couple stones that somebody had in their collections that came from places like Colorado, the Midwest, the Natchez Trace Trail, stuff like that, and all of them have bore the same kind of things, the same images, the same kind of people, where there should be no similarity at all. And this isn't making patterns, this isn't seeing rabbits in the fucking clouds. This is seeing a legit thing, that's unknown to people, and probably will be not accepted by a lot, because it throws everything we know right out the damn window. All the images of all the people have a crown that run across the top of their head, and it's normally at an angle. Either way you point it, to turn it, up this way, or if you turn the page over and look at it the other way, you'll see a crown. And on the crown, going at an angle, like right in here is probably the top of the crown. You'll see. There's a name. It says something on there. I'm not sure what. Everyone's the same. They all say something different. And in the very center, wherever the crown is, in the very part of that top of the crown, you'll see another image on the crown. And on its head will be a name as well. And so all the beings that's depicted on all these rocks all have crowns. And there's the two groups of people that I see predominantly. One type of people appear cat-like in appearance, and the other ones appear more reptilian-like in appearance, with forked tongues in the eyes, and whatnot, and the big teeth. But that doesn't make them bad. It doesn't make them anything other than different. And based on some of the types of things I've discovered after doing well over quite a few thousands of these rocks, brothers, is mankind lives long enough and we progress long enough, we're going to discover, I believe, that all the different types of life we see here on Earth, dogs, cats, birds, somewhere out there in the universe, they are the intelligent beings we'll be encountering. Because, life, everything is repeating patterns that, in a sense. And certain ways of life put together works better than others, like opposable thumbs, for instance. And so those same kind of characteristics, we will discover a lot of things probably are going to look like and similar to what we see here on Earth. It's very true. And if you think about how many planets we have just in our little solar system, our little bitty speck of nothing, and then you look at the sky at night with what you can see with the eye, every one of our stars that we see is either an actual star with planets of its own, or it's a whole damn galaxy that's so far away it just looks like one star. And since the galaxy we live in is so damn big, we'll never be able to get across it. Just imagine. And so the fact that, life just isn't a mistake that we're just alive, because that's no mistake at all. We were created, without a doubt. I can't see if it's any good. I'll have to invert the color on this. Okay, now see, I'm going to take my eraser. Or I got it too dark right here. Just going to lighten it up some. Smear it back out. I'm pretty sure I've been seen back here. I heard people talking. They're probably curious. I have to hurry though. I have an appointment. I got a housing voucher. The state of Washington's going to help me out. The county of Washington, and the people that surround me. Somebody is taking notice to the bad things that's been happening to me. I hope. Yeah, I have to invert the colors. It takes a while. You have to, to get a good rubbing, you want to make sure you get all the details on it. I hear buses. So I need funding for my research. More than funding, I need certain things like a better way to make films. And I need a professional logistics that notices and takes notice to what I'm doing. As in, I've studied, language but this is foreign. And I'm the only one that knows how this works. To my knowledge, I may be the only one that knows it, other than the people that's looked at it, whether they believe it or not, they know it.
There's another up there. I can't explain it yet,
but I can explain how it works. you like it, even if you don't, just like say you like it anyway. And yeah, keep watching, and there'll be more music and more crazy stuff like this.